Hey, how you doing? Hi, this is Paige Hamilton from Helmet, and you're watching Check Sound TV.
So, what can you tell us about Seeing Eye Dog for someone who doesn't know it? So, what can you tell us about the new album?
We made it in L.A. I always want to say New York. I don't live in New York anymore. It's still in my brain. With Toshi Kasai, he engineered. He does a lot of all the Melvins recordings, and we've met him through another band that I produce called Todi Moshi, and just love working with him. Recorded about half the songs that I had written, and then went home for Christmas break, and ended up writing some more. After I saw what I had, I knew what I needed, and I love the album. It's my favorite album. We'll play some stuff off that tonight at the end of the set. It's just lyrically and musically, it feels right to me harmonically. There's some interesting chords going on, and there's the energy was great, and it was the first album I made with Kyle playing drums, and he's just such a great drummer and such a great musician, and I just had a really fun time, so I'm very, very proud of the album. My two favorite albums are Strap It On, which is the very first Helmet album, and Seeing Eye Dog, which is the latest. And we may make another album, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. We're still thinking about what to do.
So you've been around the music industry for a long time. Do you still enjoy doing these tours for such a long time, playing live?
Yeah, absolutely. This was the longest we were home over the last year and a half. From November, we finished touring in the U.S. in November, and we did South America and Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and then we were in Europe last year, about 14 months ago. So we were home from November through the holidays. I went to see my family over the holidays in Oregon, and so for the most part I've been home, which has really kind of got me a little fat and lazy, just sitting around like eating bags of cookies and popcorn and like taking naps every day, and it's really great going on runs up in the canyon where I live. So it was kind of hard. I'm like, God, this long trip to Lisbon, and then of course we got here, and I was just so excited and happy, and we had such a blast last night. And though bottom line for me has always been plugging my guitar in and getting the mic, and once we started sound check, my hangover went away and I felt really good. So I feel really good now. I'm tired a little bit, but I feel really good. If I didn't enjoy playing music, I just couldn't do this. It's not for the money, because we're not getting rich, as you can see our little mini bus out there. It's like there are a lot of bands that they're just together for the money, and it's pretty obvious.
I read that during the Helmet hiatus, you've been playing for soundtracks, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that throughout the time in Helmet as well. That started on this movie Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, Michael Mann movie. That was
yours. I like the movie a lot.
Yeah, the guitar. Yeah, all that shitty, awful guitar on there is me. I tease them and say tell them I'm a shit sculptor, and they're like, and Elliot Goldfeld, the composer, is like, I need some more of your dentistry, It's like. But that was the first one I did, and Helmet was on a hiatus for a second, and then we got Littera's in the studio in LA working on that movie, and Nine Inch Nails called us. So that was about '94, I think. And I've continued to do that, but I just scored a movie at home while I was home, an independent feature film, it was like 50-something minutes of music, and I co-scored it with a friend of mine that's a professor at USC, which is a college in Los Angeles. Because I didn't want to do the whole thing. It's just a lot of work, and so I gave him all the lovey stuff, like the couple kissing and at dinner, and I'm like, I don't know what to write for that. I go, give me the creepy, scary, dark, evil stuff, and I did really some cool stuff with that. But I've had an interest in it for a long time. But I had all these gigs. I played with Joe Henry and Ben Neal and the David Bowie thing, and it was just amazing. They were all great, but I really, really, really missed playing these Helmet songs. And I used to have this weird thing because the band broke up and it wasn't the original members and stuff. And I said, you know what? I wrote these songs, I recorded them. Those guys left my band. It wasn't my choice. I wanted to continue. I feel like it's a huge part of my musical soul and my, you know, obviously my musical personality is, you know, and I just missed it. I really missed playing this music. There's nothing like it. Absolutely no music like it.
So what are you listening to these days?
My listening taste for rock fans is always very disappointing because they're like, are there any new bands you're into? I'm like, I'm 51 years old. I'm not out looking for new bands. You know, I just played a jazz gig in Los Angeles at Santa Monica Airport with one of my heroes and mentors, a guy named John Stowell. He's a jazz guitarist, like one of the greatest jazz guitarists in the world and ever. And he's been my hero for 35 years, and I used to follow him around with a cassette recorder. But so I still listen to a lot of jazz. I was very nervous for that gig, and the day of the gig, I was like, why did I do this? I don't want to do this. I was like, maybe I'll get hit by a truck or something. I was just too nervous, you know. But once I got there, I felt great and had a great time. And it's going to be up on YouTube, and it's probably up now. You can get on YouTube and you put in Typhoon is the name of the restaurant, the club we played. It's TYPHOON. .biz is their website, and so it's the whole gig. I think two 1-hour sets is up there, and it's intense, man. It is intense. It's like, you know, as I described it to friends, it was like clinging to a moss-covered rock in whitewater rapids, and just like trying not to lose control and hang in there. Like, oh, good. I mean, I never got lost, but it's like some of the tempos were up, and the chord changes. He starts his chord inversions on the 7th of the chord, which is like upper part, and then from the, you know, forget root and third and that stuff. And it was amazing. And so I listened to a lot of jazz, and I listened to a lot of classical music still. So I'm still working on. I did orchestral things on the movie, you know, and I love that. So
what can people expect from Helmet these days?
Well, the show is still the show. There's no, you know, we have no light show, no lighting person, no fancy outfits. I put on my garbage man pants because they're baggy and comfortable, and I don't mind getting, you know, like stage gook and spit on them and stuff. And then, you know, we wear T-shirts, and that's it. We play, you know, we play the songs. We have the band has. God, Patrick, let me see that notebook for a second. Can I see that notebook? The notebook. I have a list of songs that we can draw from that's pretty sizable. So after 20 years, there's all these songs that we can do. So it's a good chunk of music that we can, you know, draw from, and that makes it fun for me. That and we're like, oh, my cousin said to me once, "Are you sick of playing in the meantime?" I'm like, you wake up and you put on a suit and tie and go and sit behind a desk. I go, do you actually think that your job is more fun than mine? I'm like, are you kidding me? I've played the song 2,500 times. I wrote it. It's something I am passionate about. I don't know what the lyrics mean anymore. I can't remember what I was thinking about, you know. But it's still a blast to play, of course. You know, if I played 365 days out of the year, anybody would be burned out. You know, I mean, if I played in, you know, I don't want to diss anybody, but like if I played in a terrible band that had a giant hit that was a pile of crap, and I had to play that every night, I would be really bummed out. If I was in Poison, I'd be honest with you, I'd be bummed out. I would. I don't like that. You know, if I was in Journey, I'd be bummed out. I don't like, you know, it's not my style of music. It's just, you know, but in hell, you know, if I was in Korn, I'd be bummed out. Like, I got to play those songs every night. Like, no thanks. Not for me, you know. I'm sure they like it, you know. They wouldn't have written it if they didn't like it. I like the music that we do, you know. I don't know. We've played with so many bands. We played with the Beastie Boys. We toured with the Beastie Boys in Australia. Rap, right? I mean, we did shows with Slayer and Motley Crue and Kiss and Black Sabbath, and we did the Warped Tour with Rise Against and the other kind of, I guess, punk rock bands, or, you know, rah-rah, you know, bands, whatever you want to call them. And emo, there was a lot of emo on that. Thursday was on that tour. They're emo. They call themselves emo. So, and so we will play with we tour with the Melvins, the Jesus Lizard, and Therapy from Ireland, and we'll play with anybody. You know, we're not there are elements of metal in our music, but it's also kind of indie. Came from an indie noisy that downtown New York noise thing. So I don't know what to call it other than Helmet. You know, it's not. somebody say like, described it. Somebody's like, oh, we're just a punk rock band, basically, there's no show. It's just we get up and play. But like now, punk rock means Green Day. I'm like, that ain't punk rock, that's as commercial as it gets, Yeah, that's a fashion thing. Coldplay is there, or what are they? What's that? I don't know. They got to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on their clothing, alone. I mean, I watch them on stage, and it's like I saw them on Saturday Night Live. It's like, wow, the clothing. It's funny. It's funny, It's like these are from the Banana Republic, So on sale. This was on sale, $11.
That's really cool. So, do you have plans to release a DVD or something during this tour?
No, we all these things interest us. I've looked into doing a video compilation of all the videos we've ever done, just to have them out there. But it's just a matter of money, and if somebody wanted to come along and say, well, I think we should do these helmet projects, we'll back you to do this, and we'll back you to do that. Like, we got approached to do the 33 1/3 book series about the Meantime album, and of course I'm interested in that. We'd just do interviews, and somebody would put a book out, and there'd be information from whatever players on the album want to participate. John and Henry declined a request for an interview about that album about 6-7 years ago. Decibel was doing they do kind of feature these albums, I guess, every month or something, or every year, I don't know. And he interviewed me extensively, a couple hours, Andrew Bonazelli, and those two guys said no thanks. I was like, all right. It's like, I'm proud of the album, I'm proud of the work that we did together as musicians, but some people have a different, they, whatever their issues are, they're not my issues. You know what I mean? I wish them the best. So I hope, I've heard some of John's music, Stanier's music, and it's not as good as Helmet.
It's playing for battles now.
Yeah, it's all right. It's pretty good. It's not as good as Helmet, but it's all right.
How do you feel these days, being the only one from the original formation? I'm
fine. People said, oh, you should get the original lineup back together. I'm like, why? I'm having more fun now. I mean, I have nothing but respect for John and Henry and Peter and everybody that's been in the band, Chris Traynor and Rob, in those that early first 9 years. They're all great musicians and good guys and stuff, but we don't have, I don't really have a relationship with them anymore. I have a relationship with Peter, and I are back in touch. Chris Traynor and I have never really lost touch. The other guys I haven't spoken with in years. And so I'm not, like I said, I don't have some, sentimental, attitude towards the original lineup, because it wasn't better than this lineup, If it was, and I was doing some half-assed version of the band, then people could complain. But everybody that I know that's seen the band, that's a fan of the music, they love this lineup. And people told me this, so they saw the band in 96, 97, 95, and that the shows that we've been doing are better, because these guys are a little more committed. I'm not saying that John Stanier wasn't committed, but Henry went through a period where he was really disinterested in playing this music, and he wasn't doing a great job, and he would admit that, I'm pretty sure he's a pretty honest guy, so I don't need, as a band leader and songwriter, you want guys there that want to be there. I don't want to be on the road with someone that doesn't want to be there, and I feel like they're doing me a favor. It's like, we're all getting paid to play, and if you don't like the music, then don't be here. And I really like the music, so I like playing it. It's fun. Thank you so much for your time, Paige. Thank you. Thanks for having the interview. I appreciate it. Thank you.